Welcome on in, everybody, to the Red Card Radio news episode for this week. We hope to be the one-stop shop for news relating to the Premier League and the things that Premier League clubs are associated with. Welcome on in, everybody. If you're new here, you're just tuning in, coming across Red Card Radio. If you could hit that subscribe button, hit the sub notification bell, give us a follow if you're on a podcast site. Do all the things that internet people ask you to do. Because it does really help. Leave us a comment. We would love to hear from you. And speaking of comments, we did have a comment that we wanted to get into. A couple comments from Jimmy last week on our plethora of episodes from last week. First off, Sean wants to give you a big shout out for that feels section, the feels table last week. He honestly enjoyed it. So, yeah, put them glasses on. Maybe not something we do every week. We're not doing it this week, but maybe we'll.
Oh, we can't. We only got one time a year to do it because
True.
Because once we get later in the season, everybody feels like what they are because that's where they are.
Yeah, and and you can start talking about the table because after match week 10, the table matters again. So
maybe that'll be our week 9 special every year.
Maybe
so see how we feel.
Hey, check back next year to see if we remember. Because that's going to be something. The question is whether or not we remember.
Is it going on the index cards of integrity?
Yeah, we can put it on there.
Yeah, just take a note. But okay, he did have another comment. This was mostly about the Liverpool-Arsenal match because Jimmy is, of course, a Liverpool supporter. Now, I have editorialized it slightly, so these are not his precise words, but you can check his comment on YouTube to see if how I represent it is fair. But he's upset about the refereeing in the Liverpool-Arsenal game, thought there were 3 calls that went against Liverpool. The penalty that Arsenal got was soft. Saka was offside in the lead-up to the Martinelli goal and the Gabriel handball. Though not explicitly stated, I think that those were the 3 you were talking about, Jimmy. And you can correct me if I'm wrong. He agrees that the Trent Alexander-Arnold injury was not a foul by Gabby, and that his coming off was net positive for Liverpool and strengthened up their defense. He thought 5 minutes of added time at the end of the second half was laughable. It should have been closer to 10. But all in all, he thought Arsenal played better than Liverpool, and the result is fair, but he's just upset about refereeing inconsistency.
I think we all are at this point. I've seen no less than, I'm not trying to exaggerate, no less than 3 fouls that were worse than Emerson's that were either not called a regular foul, or given a yellow. Yeah. And all we're asking is for consistency.
And I think that that is weird that this is something that feels like it comes up all the time, especially in relation to the English game, is that it just doesn't seem like there's any standard or anything. And I'm sure it's true across all the leagues. And Sean, we talk about consistency, and I think Jimmy's coming from the standpoint as well as baseball fans that like you just want the referee, the person who's judging the sport, to be consistent, to know what you're going to get week in and week out. When this person shows up in their ref in your game, you know what you're going to get. And it seems like that the clubs need to take into account what game they're playing in more so than the referee that's judging the match. So like if you're in a Big 6 match, they're probably going to let you get away with a lot more than if you're playing against Leeds or something like that, right? To me, it seems like it's more which match is being played than the referee who's judging the match.
I would say that that is what we're looking for, and at least you can rely on what referee is doing it.
Yeah.
At least you know how to set your team up and how to prepare your team and get a plan of attack according to that. But I will say that I stumbled across a few videos that allowed you to watch from baseball's perspective, watch from an umpire's perspective at a real life full speed, like an assignment pitcher's, like a major league pitcher throwing their pitches, and then make your best judgment call of balls or strike with a batter. So there is a bat being swung as well. And I found that way easier, of course, coming from a baseball background. So I guess I say all that. I found that fairly easy and don't understand how major league umpires get paid to do that all the time. I do understand how that can be more difficult when you don't exactly have the right angle or the play's moving away from you in English football. I do understand how there are entirely more variables in a football match than there are a baseball game, where you're sitting in one spot and can focus on the same points all the time. So that being said, we would appreciate the consistency at least from ref to ref.
Yeah.
But I do understand that there are more variables that go into that, including viewpoints and angles that you have on the play,
Because
and all sorts of
the thing is, we wouldn't really care about bad calls so much. Like you can get upset about bad calls and poor decisions, but if as long as it's equally bad or equally good, like as long as they're doing it for both teams and it seems like it's consistent, then we don't care. Like the concern goes away if the game is being adjudged evenly between the two teams, but it just doesn't. Sometimes it doesn't feel that way. Is certainly what Jimmy's point is, and I would agree with him.
If I speak, I get in trouble.
Yeah, all right.
That was the right response, Brad. Because I was gonna hit you with the quickest of mutes. If get the zapper out. We're gonna zap you. So boys, there were some things that took place in France this week. I don't know if you guys are familiar. It's a little publication called France Football. I think France Football Magazine. They give away a wee award that's called the Ballon d'Or, and they awarded that this year, and they awarded it to a player, and they also awarded a young player of the year and a female footballer of the year, club of the year, a striker of the year. So this is I don't know, it's like the Oscars of European football. Is that fair to equate this? Is that you guys?
No.
No, okay. Sean,
No.
It's a sham. It's a sham.
It's a popularity contest.
It's a sham.
It's a French popularity contest, so a sham is correct.
Here's what I will tell you. Ballon d'Or aside, let's take a wee little gander. Well, let's talk about the Ballon d'Or before we take a gander.
Okay, so I'll give you guys a high level recap. Okay, so here, if you're watching the video and you want to make some predictions about who won all these awards and you don't know yet, why don't you pause the video, write them down, write down your thoughts. I'll give you a second.
Footballer of the year.
Yeah, it's
young player of the year who is under 21 if you need the criteria.
Yeah. Club of the year and striker of the year. Write down a piece of paper. You can pause the video. I'll give you a second to respond, and then you can look to see if you are correct. Okay.
Club of the year. There is a criteria for it. It is who has the most in the top 20. Which team has the most players in the top 20 in the Ballon d'Or nominees list?
Wait, that's how they adjudicate Club of the Year?
Yes.
What a stupid criteria. Okay, take a second.
We did not think so smart.
All right. Welcome back in. So
all you're doing is saying our list is what criterializes you being the best club. So we could just completely make up a list of only Shakhtar Donetsk players, and then that make their top 20 players, and then their best player wins the Ballon d'Or, and then they are
I mean, to be fair,
Club of the Year.
Shakhtar Donetsk should be just destroying the Ukrainian league.
Yeah, Brad. One of these episodes, you're going to have to explain to me the Ukrainian Premier League, because I may be a little dumb, but you seem to be the expert saying that Donetsk should dominate that league.
When has Donetsk not been in Champions
When Kiev wins it every year, Brad.
Dynamo Kiev is the other team.
Those are the two big teams. You are correct. Those are the two big teams.
We are on an aside. If you want to hear Brad's
Ukrainian Premier League breakdown,
super high level Ukrainian football comment.
Put it in the comments. Put it in the comments.
We didn't plan that, by the way, Brad. We didn't plan that. Thought of it on the fly.
Check our review episode from Wednesday of this week. Okay, back to the Ballon d'Or. Okay, so Karim Benzema from Real Madrid has won the Ballon d'Or, the Copa Trophy, the Young Player of the Year. I don't know if it might be the Copa Trophy, the Cop Trophy because it's French. The Cope Trophy, maybe they dropped that A. I don't know. Went to Gavi from Barcelona. Brad has some thoughts about that. Club of the Year is Manchester City. And the striker of the year was Lewandowski from Bayern Munich and Barcelona. So if you got all those right, why don't you give yourself a pat on the back? Congratulations, well done. If not, we'll give you another shot on another trivia thing here in the future. But okay, let's start at the top. Ballon d'Or, best player in the world.
Hey.
Karim Benzema.
Correct. And I think we all agree that he deserves to win the award this year.
Sure, not taking anything away from him.
I think solely for his like the run that Real Madrid made in the Champions League, the goals that he scored in the Champions League, I think makes him the winner. Yeah.
I have a question here for you, James. I'm gonna ask this question to you, James. Do you think Riyad Mahrez is a better player than Harry Kane?
All right. Let me see if I can say this in a way that wouldn't get censored on terrestrial television. There is no world where Riyad Mahrez is a better player than Harry Kane.
France thinks so. Riyad Mahrez was 12th. He was one spot below Son.
Absurd.
Speaking, I'm glad you brought up Harry Kane.
I did it just for you.
Harry Kane has never once been featured in the top 10 of this random, probably not even accredited publication in France. In 2021, played in 35 games, had 23 goals and 14 assists. During that year, let me run off the players that were 10th and towards him. He finished 23rd that year, by the way. Donnarumma, Erling Haaland at the age of God knows what, 19. Romelu Lukaku, Giorgio Chiellini, Leonardo Bonucci, Raheem Sterling, Neymar, Luis Suarez at Atletico, Simon Kjær, Mason Mount, Riyad Mahrez, Bruno Fernandes, Lautaro Martinez, and then Harry Kane. That was the list of players that had a better year than 23 goals and 14 assists. I will one or two up you, and I won't read through everything. 30 goals, including a golden boot in England, and a second place finish in 17-18 with 2 assists was not worth the top 10. The year before that, in a top 4 finish, 29 goals and 7 assists in only 30 games in the league for another golden boot was not worth a top 10 consideration. This is a fake trophy.
I don't disagree, but
yeah, well,
there's a lot of crying there.
You're telling me that Simon Kjær is a better footballer than Harry Kane?
Well, you got to remember, didn't he save Christian Eriksen's life? So, that
to be fair, 2021 season was before that.
Oh, true. Yeah. I don't know. It's a stupid award. We don't care about the Ballon d'Or when Pavel Nedved beat Thierry Henry in 2003.
That's probably the biggest round. I can play my violins for Harry Kane not making top 10. That is the biggest crock of crap in the history of the award.
You should, if you don't know about that, and Will, I would love to see your comment supporting your boy Pavel Nedved winning in 2003 over Thierry Henry, because that was highway robbery. But
that was Invincibles. That's what do you do?
Yeah, absurd. It wasn't Invincibles yet. They didn't, but they were on their way to being invincible. But yeah, it was an absurd. It was stupid.
This list is silly.
Speaking of stupid, let's talk about the Copa Trophy.
Young player of the year, Gavi at Barcelona. So I didn't, I saw that Saka was going to the Ballon d'Or ceremony. He and Beth Mead and Vivian Miedema from the Arsenal women's team all got on a plane and went to Paris for it. And I was like, what's going on here? And figured out what it was for. He was nominated for the Young Player of the Year. He finished 8th in this. So, Brad, you've got some thoughts about the Young Player of the Year, and I would love to hear them.
I don't understand how Gavi won this. I don't understand. Like, I'm going to go through the top 10, and I'm going to butcher some names, and I'm sorry. What's going to happen? Camavinga should have won it. Musala Musiala
Musiala.
should have won it. Jude Bellingham should have won it. Nuno Mendes, don't know who he is, should have won it.
I don't know who that guy is, but yeah, he definitely should have won it.
Josko Gravidal should have won it over Gavi. Ryan Gravenberch should have won it over Gavi. Bukayo Saka should have won it over Gavi and over the other 7 people in front of him. Kareem Adeyemi, again, don't know who he is, probably better than Gavi. And Florian Wirtz should have won it over Gavi. I do not understand. Did they just feel bad for Barcelona and this was the trophy they could give them? Because I think they're just used to saying Barcelona from Messi winning the Ballon d'Or 7 times. They're like, oh hey, we don't have anybody from Barcelona. Oh Gavi, he's under 21. Let's give it to him.
Well,
what?
The female footballer of the year was from Barcelona as well. I'm blanking on her name right now. It doesn't matter. But
Alexia Putellas, and she won it 2 years in a row.
She's not English.
No, she's French, isn't she?
Oh,
She's
so she
Spanish.
wasn't.
Oh, Spanish.
So she
Okay,
wasn't.
She's Spanish.
She wasn't successful with both her club and her country.
The first English person was second, Beth Mead. The first American on this list was 9th, Katerina Macario.
I've never heard
Alex
of her.
Morgan. Alex Morgan made the top 15.
I mean, Alex Morgan hasn't done anything recently.
Yeah, I think it's more name value, but
I mean, there's a lot of name value on these lists because Cristiano Ronaldo finished 20th in the men's division, so.
which is 1 spot above Harry Kane.
Yeah, take that for what it's worth.
Wait, did Mike Magnan even play last year?
Yeah.
No, I think he was suspended.
He's the starting goalkeeper for AC Milan.
Right, but I think he was suspended last year with Ajax.
No, you're thinking of Onana.
Onana. Yeah.
Okay. You're right. Sorry, my Milan club's mixed up. That's my fault.
So, you just threw me off with a Serie A winning goalkeeper being suspended while he was lifting the trophy.
Statistics. We had some Gavi statistics, right?
Oh.
One of you guys had those.
Yeah, I have. So, in winning this award, and this is just to show you, I'm going to round my point out before I give the mic up. Gavi, to win this award, in all of his greatness, has played 60 total professional games. And before you say, well, wait a minute, Sean, how many professional games has he had? 60 total games is only 2021, 2022, and 2022, 23, the beginning of this year.
So take out maybe 10 or 12 of those games.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm going to include those just to prove a point. All 60 of his games, he has 2 grand total goals, 1 grand total assist for a goal assist record of 3. That's it.
I thought he had more assists than that. I thought he had 6.
He plays an 8. He is a pivot defender.
Yeah,
however you want to describe what he plays.
I mean, I guess the only way you would award it to him is just he's
he has potential.
Ball retention. Maybe his passing rate is really good.
No, the reason you give it to him
because he's from Barcelona.
Wait a minute. It's because he plays for Barcelona, and the people that put on this publication also have a stake in all of those economic levers that were released by Barcelona that have all their media rights.
Oh.
They're just giving you more of a reason to go to Barcelona and watch them because they have all these fantastic young players and not Benzema. That was the Messi thing. We could talk about that, but you have all these reasons to go to Barcelona. Not Beth Mead, the best player in Europe on the women's side, but some random person that nobody's heard of, didn't win a women's Euro, didn't actually do anything. Nobody. All right.
We have a huge bias there because we watch English football that we've never heard of her. And we don't watch a lot of women's football, so we have a huge bias there.
Just saying, We're trying to get you to Barcelona TV so they can make up their portion of the money that Barcelona sold to them.
I mean, they might need some more. They might need some more levers to sell if they don't make it to the knockout stages of the Champions League.
I guarantee
Wait.
you, lever number one was if we sell you this, then we better get some motherfucking awards.
They Barcelona won it last year too. Pedri won it last year.
Yep.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, hey,
The
Brad.
year before that was two legitimate ones though. I will give it this. The award did start out legitimate with Kylian Mbappe and De Ligt winning the first two Young Player of the Year awards. I will give them that. But
Apparently-
Pedri and Gavi,
James, all you needed to do is just have his name be Saki instead of Saka.
wow.
Just put an I at the end. Then boom.
Dang.
Boom.
Played ourselves.
Pedri, Gavi, boom.
Okay. Manchester City being the club of the year, I guess if the criteria is the way that Brad describes it and it's just the most number of players on the list, then I guess that makes sense because Manchester City's team is stacked. Like top to bottom, that makes sense. But it's just that's a really strange award to give away.
So there's 6 players. I'm gonna do it in order too. From I guess this is last year too. I think it's the calendar year till now, right?
It's
De Bruyne at 3, Haaland at 10.
But do you get to count Haaland for City?
They have it as City /
he is on the team.
Dortmund because they have Haller on here as Ajax / Dortmund.
Okay, so they count for both. Okay.
So Mahrez at 12.
That's ridiculous. That's absurd.
I know. I thought it was hilarious. And 22nd, tied at 22nd is Foden and Silva, and tied at 25th is Cancelo. Tied with Rudiger, Kimmich, Magnin, Nkunku, and Nunez.
No Rodri, no Ederson. Like it's just absurd.
Not any of their actually good
players.
World-class players. Yeah.
Ederson finished. There's only one goalkeeper in the top 25, and
Becker.
that was Courtois.
Oh.
You said Magnan.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, then Magnin. Sorry, there's 2.
Magnan.
Wait.
Episode
Magnin
where
finished.
he was suspended. He also won a trophy. Now he's on the list, but he's not on the list.
So Mike Magnin made the top 25 players, right? Number 2 goalie in the list, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And he finished 5th in the Yashin Trophy, which is the goalkeeper trophy, which was won by Courtois. Second, Becker.
What?
Third, Ederson.
Wait, time out.
You just can't discount all the throws that he had.
I guess Courtois makes a ton of throws.
Time out. So he was in the top 25 of players in the entire world, but finished 5th in the goalkeeper category.
You can't discount those throws, baby.
Yo, why is this the biggest meme award in the world?
Ever? Not that Courtois doesn't deserve for last year. I hate the snake, but he probably was the best goalkeeper last year.
I mean, yeah, who's disagreeing with it?
I could be down for that.
Okay,
Becker,
second.
Ederson, Mendy. And then Magnin, then Kevin Trapp, Neuer, Oblak, Bonu, and then Hugo Lloris.
Hugo.
Made the list.
He's not even the best goalkeeper in North London. It's wild.
It's
He can't
still a
speak.
sham. Still a sham. Just how can you read any of that stuff and just once you get to Riyad Mahrez is a better footballer than Harry Kane, then you just got to scrap the whole list and throw it out and start over.
Oh man, I'm glad we talked about this.
Me too, because like we started this list off and we're like, okay, the Ballon d'Or makes sense. Okay, striker of the year makes sense with Lewandowski. Goalkeeper of the year makes sense. Young player of the year is ridiculous. But then we like pulled back the onion on this Ballon d'Or and goalkeeper situation. We're like, what is going on?
Oh man, what a stupid.
This is a
award.
joke of an award.
We need to get out of here. If you're still suffering through this with us, we really appreciate it. I hope you thought it was fun. 'Cause what a cluster. Drop us a comment below with who you thought should be the young player of the year, or if you think Benzema was, let us know what you think about this, about France football's awards season. Maybe this is more like the Nickelodeon Slime Awards than the Oscars.
The Oscars? Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. It's the Slime Awards. All right. Hit him up on Twitter. That's at KSBradG. That's at Whiteheart_Sean. I'm at James Tiffany. Collectively, we're at Redcard_radio. Check back tomorrow. We've got a preview of Match Week 13. All the games coming at you this weekend. So definitely tune in for that. And until next time, have a good one.